Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Investing Across Borders with Lauren Cohen. I am an international lawyer and real estate expert, and I specialize in helping people find strategies to invest, live, work, and play across borders. And I'm here today with my good friends. As a surprise, I got two for the price of one, Bert and Alexa Oliva. Bert and Alexa run some amazing companies, which I'm going to let them share with you because they do it better than me. We have been friends for a good few years, and we have been suffering through COVID together. And they're just wonderful, wonderful people with hearts of gold that are go-givers. And I just love working with them. Bert and Alexa, please say hello and share your video to introduce yourselves.
Well, hello, I'm here.
Hello, thank you, Lauren, for taking the time to invite us to this. Anytime we get to spend with you, we know is always special.
Thank you. Especially if we were able to give a hug, especially Bert's huge bear hug that he gives, right?
A hug. Oh, I miss hugs.
All right. Isn't that the thing that we miss the most, I think? Going
Yes.
out and having a normal life and hugs. Because they say you're supposed to have 5 hugs a day, and it's great. At least you guys have each other and your kids, but it's nice to hug other people once in a while, right?
Absolutely. That's the number one thing I do.
So let me show the video. You want to do that?
Sure.
All right. So here we go.
The following is rated R for results and may not be suitable for the negative mind. Bert Oliva is an international orator, as well as a renowned authority on leadership and human behavior. For over 2 decades, Bert Oliva has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. He speaks around the world about his experiences, and his teachings have enchanted audiences all over the world, showing them the power of mind over matter. Bert has a dedicated social media following and an impressive online influence few possess.
People are looking for that hedge,
And you know who's going to get us there?
You tell me.
Bert Oliva.
Hi, Bert.
Oliva.
Bert Oliva.
Enabling him to communicate with all kinds of audiences.
Considered the voice of inspiration and motivation.
He has developed many programs, recorded audio CDs, and written books, all of which to help those ranging from individuals to corporate and Fortune 500 companies. He has dedicated his life to speaking all over the globe and met some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
Okay, let's go.
He has also coached highly successful business executives and politicians.
To influence millions of people around the world.
Make it
We're
happen.
making it happen.
Bert Oliva is a success and the father of humanology. So get ready to learn tools that will help you tap into your potential. Get ready to connect and be part of a positive, world-changing mission. Get ready to have an experience you won't soon forget. Please help me welcome Bert Oliva.
There you go, the little soundtrack. It's a lot different than usual. When you're live with Bert and he goes on a stage, he is a magnet. I mean, you wear the most amazing jacket, very colorful. These lovely people really have a presence, and it's an amazing thing to be in their presence and to share the stage with them from time to time. So, Bert, my question is, obviously this podcast is about going across borders, and you started in Miami, which is where you're from. When was your first time like going outside of North America? Let's say going outside of America first.
Wow, that's a good question. It's been a long time. When was the first time?
First time, I don't know. Could have been.
The last time is a lot easier, especially.
Yeah, it is.
Last time was.
I would say probably maybe 5 years into my career, because I speak both languages, English and Spanish. Right. And since we live in South Florida, we were doing a lot of stuff in the Caribbean and in Central America. So I would say within the first 5 years that I started my career, I've been doing this for over 27 years. So when we first started, about 5 years into it, was when we started getting hired across different borders, especially in Latin America.
Right. Makes sense. I mean, because being a Hispanic speaker, a Hispanic keynote speaker is a really big deal. Now,
well, back then, 27 years ago, we weren't as wanted as we are now.
Right.
Because back then, I remember when I started, especially in our industry, it was either for Anglo whites or Black Americans, right? You had your Tony Robbins, your Zig
Right.
Ziglar, Jim Brown, and then you had your
Les Brown.
Les Brown,
Yeah.
TD Jakes,
Yeah.
and there wasn't really a space for a Latino speaker called Bert Oliva, but I thought that was a good opportunity. So that's when we started doing it, and nowadays there's all types of speakers, right, from all over the world. But back then it was really kind of tight in those two sectors.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we started getting picked up for more gigs throughout the years because of being able to speak, two languages.
One cool thing about it though is when we get booked to go international, the number one request nowadays is Spanglish, believe it or not.
That's funny. I mean, it makes sense because there's a lot of that in the world. And also, I think that one of the huge reasons for your success is the lady right there. Because if not for Alexa being so supportive and being able to go on the stage and introduce you and pump you up and not have jealousy and not be like that jilted spouse or whatever, it's made a huge difference in your career because you guys have a family, you've been together for over 30 years, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
I
makes
know.
a difference. You have 3 kids,
If it
right?
wasn't for her, there would not be a Bert Oliva.
I'm sure.
I give her 1,000%.
Right. I mean,
Because
she's definitely, there's no question, she's a powerhouse in her own right. And but she's also willing to step back and let you shine.
well, that was one of the decisions we made early on in our career. I wanted to go out there and do seminars all over the world. And she says, I'll go ahead and, do the background stuff and sit behind the scenes. And then throughout the years, which we'll talk a little bit later about the nonprofit organization that she launched about 7.5 years ago. And then now that she actually took the front, and then I took the back end. So it's about being able to balance it out, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, she supported me for years. And then now I support her and her nonprofit. And we've always been like a give and take relationship. It's not just take or give. It's been balanced, and
Right.
that's one thing I've been very fortunate. That's why I tell some of the millennials and people that are younger is that, you work on you, build you first, and then eventually that perfect person will come into your life. Don't go looking for that perfect person because you're going to miss out. It took a while. And then once we found each other, we knew that this was it. And 30 years later, over 30 years and 3 children, I mean, we're just, we found our balance.
Yeah.
And now
it's
we're
really
growing old together.
I mean, I remember about a year ago, okay, it's got to be more than a year and a bit, when you were one of the recognized women in Broward County, right? And you were the one that was recognized, and Bert and oh my goodness, all of a sudden I forget it. Your
Valerie?
brother. Pardon?
Oh, Wayne?
No, not your real brother. You're the big, I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Susanna's his wife.
Oh, Serge.
Serge, goodness me, could not remember his name. You and Serge were at the back cheering her on, and she was so nervous and wanted to be perfect because, that's Alexa. And she was like, I remember her, she's like, I'm going on in 5 minutes. I'm like, Alexa, you're going to do like great. You're going to do amazing. Like you magnetize a room. And because she's so used to being in the shadows, it was just not her normal role, but it was great. And she was wonderful. And so you mentioned this nonprofit, and actually I talk very much about how nonprofits help build a for-profit business because they bring credibility. And of course, it's not why you start them, but a nonprofit can bring so much value and it can have so much impact because you get on different stages and you're talking to different audiences and you're getting your message out to a much broader spectrum of people. Tell me a little bit about your nonprofit. And of course, if you'd like to play the video, I'm happy to have that as well.
I'm gonna play a video for you. For the people on YouTube, they'll be able to see it. For the people that are listening to the podcast, they'll be able to hear it. And it kind of breaks down exactly what motivational mission is all about. So let me go ahead and cue it up, get it up ready for you guys. Here we go.
Our world is broken. There is an epidemic of isolation infecting every corner of the earth. We are all more connected than ever before, yet we are so desensitized that we are not aware of what is happening even next door to us.
Everyone feels some sort of disconnection.
But most of us are not even aware of what it is that we're lacking.
we're not communicating in ways that we innately crave as human beings.
We need to have a positive shift.
We need to realize how similar we are.
And how important we each are to the human race.
This group is empowering children.
Your dream, no matter how big it is possible.
Teaching them that they are not stuck with the hand that they are dealt.
You will reap the benefits of the actions that you take in your life.
That they can change it. And if they are able to change their own lives, it will ripple out as global change.
Everyone here has an opportunity to do something special, not just for your country, but for the world.
The goal is to build awareness to prevent human trafficking and bullying by teaching leadership, self-confidence, and much more. It is time to shift our global viewpoint from an emphasis on things to an emphasis on people.
We are welcoming groups of students to be motivated by one of the world's leading motivational programs.
Sometimes people have to reinforce that they are great.
He has passion.
And this little nonprofit is one of those phenomenal 5-star gold standard nonprofits that fights back.
I myself felt motivated, although it was for the children.
We always showing love year round to the kids, let them know that it's important to have education.
It's all about just getting the message across to everybody, because if nobody gives them that message of hope and inspiration, then who will?
If you can walk on glass, you can literally do anything you want. You put your mind to it.
I got to walk on glass.
I've been to steel.
I ate fire.
This is the first time I do something like that in my life. This was great, man. This was awesome.
Crazy people compete. Today we learned how to make it happen.
What it takes to reach your goals.
And to not take money over your dreams. And to follow your dreams and your heart, because everything is possible.
His message was all about celebrating who you are.
It's a big takeaway for all the children, even the small ones. The kids seem to really have enjoyed it.
I can assure you that it resonated with them.
Good things are happening.
The most important resource we have on this planet is our children.
And the connection between each one of us.
This is a movement in human consciousness for our world.
We need to come together on a human-to-human and grassroots level.
It's really about waking up and making a conscious decision of how you're going to live this life.
It's up to us to do something about it.
I'm making it happen.
We're making it happen. We're motivational missionaries right here.
We each matter. We are unstoppable. And together we will make a world of awareness.
What we are gonna do?
To recognize the human connection.
Man, I missed that human connection, right? Over Zoom, it's a little different. So one of the things that unfortunately the podcast listeners won't benefit from that amazing video is the scope of the international reach that you guys have created.
Well, that's why those podcast listeners, when they get a chance, they got to log into your YouTube channel so they can see.
Yeah, it's true, because there were like, I don't know, 50 countries, 50 flags or so, a crazy amount of flags.
It was a lot. We've been in many countries all over the world, and at the same time, one of the coolest things is that, like for example, Belize alone, we spoke to over 50,000 children in Belize alone. We've been to Trinidad, Bermuda. We've done it in the United States. We've been everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest things that we missed. I mean, everything that we do, for those that don't know me, we do it big, right? When I've been speaking for over 27 years, and then my wife says, let's do this nonprofit, because she says, our obligation, one of our obligations is when you get to a certain level of success is to give back. But instead of giving back to not knowing which nonprofit, she decided to open up her own, herself and Valerie Leichman, which is our partner. Decided to open it up, and then this is where actually they run everything. They hire me to go out there and speak to the children. So basically, I work for them.
Well, you know, it's got to balance out somewhere, right? So and I don't think also the podcast listeners would have had the chance to hear what the kids were saying, which Bert was teaching them. And the ultimate message in there is that I promise to believe in me. And as a motivational speaker, you take people. I saw one of my colleagues, my real estate colleagues, that was petrified of something going on in her life, and she couldn't break the board. And I saw you just push and push until she was able to break that board and break through those barriers. And you do that time and again. The boards are just a little piece. That's the simplest piece. The fire becomes, there's a little more liability in the glass and so on.
Yeah, no, but one of the things is that, especially now, a lot of people do breakthroughs, right? You'll probably seen board breaking in other events.
Yeah.
The difference is that when you sign up, and when I say sign up is not just signing up and a disclaimer or anything, but when you say I'm gonna go do it, I will not let you sit back down without completing the task, because that creates more damage than actually help for people. Right. So
then you think, forget about it. I can't break through this. I'm done. I give up.
And there's always a way. We all have greatness inside of us. The only person that holds it back is really ourselves. And one of the things is that, my wife and I said, once they agreed to do a breakthrough, they're motivated enough and they're going to do it. There's always a way to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we're known for, is not just the show part of it, because we call it edutainment, where education meets entertainment. You put it together, people love to learn, and in the same process, they're having fun.
And they're captivated by you both, because you both have captivating personalities. I've been getting, now that I have this podcast and I'm doing so much more social media, people are saying, I had somebody call me yesterday and tell me that I was motivating his kids. And I was like, really? I mean, I was shocked. And then I just won some contest for sending out affiliate emails, and I had the most signups, and I was shocked because I didn't even know that I had a tribe, but apparently I do, because there's a credibility level attached to what I'm building, just like there is for you. And the reality is we're authentic in what we're doing. And when you're authentic in what you're doing and you're truly that go-giver and you come from a place of giving, people know, and people are drawn to you because of your warmth and because those hugs that you give are authentic. And eventually we'll be able to give them in person. And let me tell you, I'll be down there in Miami at your house when that happens. So, I've all the times I've been invited, one day I'm actually going to make it. I'm going to be there, and I'm so excited. I wanted to ask you something else. So regarding the nonprofit and going global, what's one of the most important tips that you would give to listeners when you are expanding beyond your domestic borders that would have saved you a lot of hassle?
The most important aspect of going international is having someone that has their feet on the ground, a liaison. You have to have someone that knows the territory, that knows the people, and they can help spread the message and put a group together. And that has been our success internationally, is we have had a great partnership with a local person.
Correct. I agree with you 100%, because at the end of the day, it's just like I say, stay in your lane. You're not an expert in everything, and you're certainly not an expert in that new country. And when I'm dealing, for example, with a real estate investor or a business owner that's coming into the US, so right now I have a client that's building in Honduras, another one in Spain, another one in Italy, in the UK, and Israel. And I know you said this in the response to my questions, every country has a different cultural approach to doing business. And if you approach it, well, I'm in America, this is how I approach it when I go, they're going to be like, forget about it. That the American approach is going to push people the wrong way and push their buttons wrong, and you're going to just alienate them, right?
One of the most important things that I absolutely love and honor about Bert is that he's very aware of those things. So before we go in, we do our homework, we plan our logistics, and then we have to change our presentation sometimes, whether it's the local music, add their culture in there. I remember one time we were in a country and they were like, we know you're American, but don't use the word kids. It's insulting. Mm-hmm. Use children, right. Teenagers, but do not use the word kids. And that was really hard because in the US, we use kids for everything, So we pay attention to those minor little details. Also, if something important happens, right before we went on stage in another country, there was a shootout. And Bert does this thing where it inspires people and he goes, bang, bang. Shh. Oh. And because there was a shootout right before he went on stage.
Right, so you have to adjust. You have to be
definitely
able to
adjust that one.
Yeah. And that's one of the most magical things to watch him work. And that's why I love being behind the scenes is the way he can readjust himself and connect with the audience anywhere you put him, that's magical.
It's true. I've seen it time and time again, the multiple times, however many times I've seen you, and it's a different audience every time. And you can read that audience, and that's a gift. And not all of us have that gift. You know, I have to ask questions to get a feel for my audience. You just read them. You sense what you need to do to adjust. And it is definitely.
Yeah, but there is some sort of training. We do train people on actually how to do it. Because especially now, when I started my career over 27 years ago, there was only a handful of speakers because most of the speakers
really?
were for corporate. Oh yeah, there was only a handful. Like when I was working back 27 years ago, you know, again, the same names, Tony, Zig, Brian Tracy, Omar Perry, they were for corporate. So now pretty much everyone has become a speaker, but people do it to feed their ego. And at the end of the day, you get on stage for two reasons. You either feed your ego or you feed your pocket. And I tell people, look, it's okay to feed your pocket because how can you motivate people if you can't pay your mortgage or let alone your mortgage or your rent? So it's a great industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but what sets you aside? You just want to get on stage. So, you know, at the end of the day, most people will tell you you did a great job because the number one fear in the world is public speaking. Number two is death. People prefer to die than to speak in public. So one of the things that we do when we do train our students, we let them know, look, this is how you're going to read the audience. You got to know your what it is you're going to speak about. And these are the techniques. There's a lot of techniques in what I do. I make it look flawlessly. And yes, you know, I've been able to tap into that one gift that's a little different. I'm not saying like our coaching students, we don't make them the best Bert they can be. We make them the best Lauren they can be, the best person they can be, because that's what's going to make you stand out with this huge crowd of speakers nowadays. Pretty much everyone nowadays, you know, speaks on a platform, but do they leave an impact? Are they connecting with the audience? Are you leaving a legacy? Are you going to really create something that's long-term, not just immediate gratification? And that's one of the things that we do teach our students on how to do things and just leave that impact.
So on that note, let's talk a little bit about your amazing program that I'm about to join, which I haven't joined yet, Power Partners. So how do we join Power Partners? And how do they let you know that they've come to you through my podcast? Because I think Power Partners is awesome. And I think I'm going to have my own Power Partners eventually. Can you share that with us, please?
Absolutely. I mean, it's Power Partners is an amazing program that Bert developed, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And it's transitioned. They used to be live every week. And because he started traveling a lot, about 6 years ago, we actually made it virtual. And we call it Power Partners because it's about empowering our partners. It's not just a membership. It's not just a mastermind. It's a lot more than that because we're all doing business together. We know each other personally and spiritually because the connection is amazing. But we teach things that are necessary when you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner or you're in a process of growth. We teach all those things in the Power Partners. And so it's really easy to find us because Power Partners is bertoliva.com/partners, and you can get more information there.
And if you do reach out to us in bertoliva.com/power partners, or it's a partners. If you reach us out there, just make sure that when you reach out to us, you let us know that you heard the podcast or you saw us in Lauren's podcast, and then we'll make sure that, you know, because she wants to build her own. Because we do have an opportunity to create a charter group. So this way you'll be able to actually, you know, connect.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. That stupid Zoom. Now you can see at least my bed was made, but there's a dog on the bed. That's so funny.
Hey,
I'm lucky.
Lauren, this happens on stage, right?
Yeah.
You have your presentation is all set, and then of course technology doesn't work. So now you got to go ahead and speak right, you know, increase your voice.
It's got to be all right. It is what it is.
Especially in these third world countries where
those are fun.
Yeah, those are great because sometimes they're like, okay, they don't have a projector, or they do have a projector, but they don't have a screen. So you got to get a bed sheet, put it up. Then the wind is blowing. It's just, you know, can you go off your cuff or can you go ahead? Do you have everything, you know, memorized? So it happens in live settings.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, for sure. It does.
Zoom is more noticeable, right?
Right. Exactly. I'm like, oh my God, what happened there? That was a little strange. So it knocked me out. It said that my account was signed in somewhere else. I'm like, wait a minute, that's like, is there a ghost here? Who knows? So, all right, so that we can reach you by going to bertoliva.com. You can join Power Partners by going to bertoliva.com/partners with an S. And
or just go to any social media, look up the name Bert Oliva, Oliva, not Olivia, and just direct message me there and say, I'm interested in Power Partners, and we'll send you information.
Or finding out about the nonprofit and how you can make a donation to that, how you can help, how you can learn. Bert runs amazing webinars regularly to help teach people how to use social media. I mean, there's just no shortage of available opportunities to work with these lovely people. I want to thank you so much for your time today. Are there any parting words you'd like to say to our audience as we close out?
Yeah, if you're out there and you're listening to this, Lauren is so authentic and she really cares about people. If there's any way that you need more information to truly grow your business, you need to reach out to Lauren Cohen all the time to grow your business.
Thank you.
We are here to serve. And that's I think the one thing that makes us different than most people that go out there and say they do what we do. We're doing it because we serve people. That is our top priority always. We know that that's the gift that we've been given, and we love to share it with people. So if you want to connect with us, it's very easy. Like Bert was saying, we're on all social media and all information can be found there.
Or just connect with Lauren and then have Lauren give you our contact.
I'm happy to connect you any day. I have a direct connection.
I just want to leave you guys with one thing, right?
For sure.
Couple of things. Number one, Lauren is a rock star. So let's go ahead and make sure. I mean, the reason is because she's not just doing interviews. She's doing interviews with like-minded individuals. And at the same time, she knows these people. So it's not like she's just picking out people randomly. There's a connection there. So it says a lot who you surround yourself with, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Number two, do not give up on your dream. I truly believe that greatness is inside every single one of us. And the only reason you haven't made it is because you give up right before it happens. So whether you have a podcast, whether you have a video broadcasting or Zoom call, whatever it is, don't give up. You can always give in, you can always give out, but don't ever give up. Don't give up on yourself and don't give up on your dreams. My name is Bert Oliva. Remember to live life and don't let life live you. Cuban born, American made. Keep making it happen.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Love you guys. Kisses and hugs to both of you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again really soon, okay? I'm going to join this. I'm going to join this thing right now. Have a good one. Bye, everybody. Signing off from Investing Across Borders, where we teach you and train you on how to invest, live, work, and play across borders so you can truly have the life that you deserve. Take care. Bye, everybody.